living water. That's what he promised me that day at the well. I didn't even know what he was talking about. All I knew is that I walked up to the well and there was this Jewish rabbi asking me for a drink of water. And then the next thing I know, he's telling me about living water. You see, it started out just an ordinary day. The sun came up, ordinary as usual, and Jake woke up, well, ornery. I've learned to steer clear of Jake on mornings like this. Mornings when the night before's wine had soured his breath and flared his temper. I shuddered when I heard him lift the jar to the basin. I knew what I would hear. Oh, you lazy, good-for-nothing woman. Lazing around this house, not doing a thing. Why, all I ask for is water to the top of this jar. And you can't even do that. And don't give me your sad sob story about how you can't go to the well when the other women are there. Next time I want water, this jar better be full and to the top. Do you understand? I didn't even mind when he slapped me. I mean, I deserved it. My duty as a woman is to keep this jar full to the top of water. Besides, that's not near as bad as the remarks and the comments I get when I go to the well from the other women. Their looks cut me deep. Their looks scream at me. Who does she think she is? Walking up to this well, trying to look like us and act like us. Their silence cuts me. Their silence screams at me. Who does she think she is? Walking up here to this well, trying to act decent like us. I'd take Jake's slap to the face any day over that. Besides, the good thing about Jake is after he's calmed down and, well, he's almost gentle-like. I mean, he's sorry and all. He's just got this thirst, just deep down inside of him, this thirst that it can't be quenched. Like I said, it started out an ordinary day. Jake went on after that to do his thing that men folk do during the day, and I stayed back at the house. I had just enough water left in my jar to soak up a couple of rags. I pressed them on my face and until the swelling went down, and then I did a couple of chores that didn't require water, and well, then it was noontime. It was time for me to go to the well. You see, most folks go to the well at evening time, but I go at noon because that's the best time for me to avoid those people who like to keep me at a distance. Besides, I don't have anybody to talk to or walk with, so I like to do a little fairy telling when I go to the well. You know, happy ending. Judas. Oh, he was my first husband and just the love of my life. What if he hadn't died so young? I mean, I guess it's true what they say, the good die young, but what if we'd had a son together? Well, then I wouldn't have had to marry Judas's brother, Jabesh, and well, he didn't want me anyway, and I know. I wouldn't have had to marry Jadar. And well, he was a good man. Poor, but he was good. Old as Methuselah, but he was a good man. I guess that son thing wouldn't have worked out anyway. I know. What if Jake and I could get married? Oh, what if Jake and I could have a son? Oh, my son, he'd be handsomer and brighter and faster than anybody else's son. Especially those women at the well. My son, he would have Jake's thirst for life, not his thirst for wine. Why, he'd have my love for people, not their disdain for me. And my son, oh, he'd marry a good woman. He'd marry a good woman, and she'd do me the honor of going to the well and getting water for me. Fairy tale and just happy ending. And he was already sitting there when I approached the well, and I knew he wasn't from these parts. He was a Jew, and I expected the down look that I would get from him. I mean, as Samaritans, that's what we've always gotten from the Jews. I guess I expected a little more this time. I'm a Samaritan woman. Unclean, they call us. Unclean! Like we're dogs or something. I knew what he was thinking. Who does she think she is? Walking up to this well, trying to sit by me. Why, just the brush of her skirt would keep me out of the synagogue for weeks. But I didn't know what he was thinking. Instead, he asked me real polite like, would you give me a drink of water? It was easy to see why he'd be asking me. The sun was blazing hot. His robe was soaked. And he was empty-handed. Why? He needed me. He needed me to draw water from the well for him. I had the upper hand for the change. Do you ever know how it is when you've got the upper hand and you know it? You know, how the pride inside of you, you're just dying to talk to anybody. But the pride inside of you won't let you give them so much as a second glance. When the venom that's gnawing at your belly makes you lay out some innocent victim just because the anger's pushing to get out. Well, I soon regretted the words that I spit at him. I stepped back and I said, you are a Jew, and I'm a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink of water? He didn't get all riled up by my words or my anger. In fact, he was real nice and started telling me these strange things about living water. And this water that when you drink of it, you'll never be thirsty again. And then he asked me about Jake. Well, he didn't really ask me about Jake. He told me to go get my husband. And I told him real quick, I don't have a husband. And then he told me he knew. And then he sat there and he told me everything I had ever done. I knew right then, oh, he's got to be some kind of prophet. The more he started talking and my mind was running, and he could be the Christ. He could be the one that all these people are always talking about. Oh, and before I knew it, my feet were running and I was running to town. I ran to town and I found those people who before didn't have so much as the time of day for me. And I told them, come on, come and see. This man, he told me everything I've ever done. He's the Christ. He is the Christ. And they went running. Now I don't know why they went running. If they wanted to go see what all I'd ever done, or if they wanted to meet the Christ. But they went running. And before I knew it, I was running home to Jake. I ran smack into him and, oh, Jake, oh, I gotta tell you. Oh, Jake, have you been drinking again, Jake? Oh, the water. Oh, Jake, I must have left it at the well. But Jake, listen, I gotta tell you. I know. I full to the top. I know, Jake. But just hear me out, Jake. Oh, Jake, I went to the well, Jake. Honest, I did. Jake, just hear me out. I met a man, and he has living water, Jake. Oh, Jake, this water will quench the thirst that's deep down inside of your belly, Jake. Oh, come on, come and see. You see, it started off an ordinary day. But it didn't end ordinary. That was the day I got to go to the well. That was the day that I got to meet Jesus. And he offered me living water. Water that when I drink of it, I will never, ever be thirsty again.